This is J.R. Colby, Chairman, Board of Selectmen. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Damon Jesperson?
Yes.
Michael Doyle?
Mike's muted.
Muted again.
Okay, there he is. Okay,
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yes.
All right, I heard you that time. Alicia Greco?
Yes.
Jeff Walker?
Yes.
Finance Committee members are joining us this evening. Marshall Jesperson?
Yes.
Joe Ali?
Joe's not going to make it.
Okay, Linda Allen?
Linda's on, but I think she's muted.
Yeah, she's muted. I can see her.
But she's working on it.
Oh, it's being a jerk.
There you go.
There we go. There we go. All right, Linda Allen, Gene Case, Tom Howard. I saw Tom.
Yes.
Paul Mayette.
He's not on.
All right, KVS there.
Yep, he's on.
Okay.
Hi.
All right, I would entertain a motion to open.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So roll call vote. Jesperson.
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker.
Yes.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Tracy Blaze, Town Administrator.
Yes.
Ellen Jameson, Executive Administrator.
Yeah.
Martha Taylor, Planning Director. And Chief Michael Riley, Emergency Management Director.
Yes.
Good evening. This open meeting of the Newbury Board of Selectmen is being conducted virtually, consistent with the Executive Order of March 12, 2020, and the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. And as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. The order you can find posted on the town's website allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Public access does not, however, ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment as it is not a public hearing. For this meeting, the Newbury Board of Selectmen is convening by Zoom meeting link is posted on the agenda on the town's website. All of the materials for this meeting, except any executive session materials, are available on the website, and we recommend the members and the public follow the agenda as posted on the website. We're now turning to the first item on the agenda. Permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will go down the line of the board members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and be sure to state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in dialogue with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call. Now that we have the formalities out of the way, I've signed the PR 20-20 for the Board of Selectmen. I've also signed the PR 20-20, PR 20-21, PR 20-22, and PR 20-23 for Ellen Jameson. I also would like to take this time to read a list of Newbury's veterans that passed away in 2019, and afterwards we'll just pause for a moment of silence to honor these brave individuals. In 2019, we lost Richard Murray, Army, Daniel Romanos, Navy, John O'Brien, Air Force, Richard Bedrea, Navy, Burj Terzian, Army, Robert Hubbard, Army, and Harry Fish, Air Force. Please join me in a moment of silence for our brave veterans in Newbury. Thank you. Okay, now we'll move to our joint meeting with the Finance Committee to review and vote to execute the annual town meeting warrant. So we will turn to Article 1 on the warrant. Article 1 is to receive the reports of the Selectmen, School Committee, regular and special committees, and all other town offices, any other action in relation thereto. I will start with the Board of Selectmen. Jeff Walker. Jeff's muted. Let's see, who do we have? I will start with Alicia. I would entertain a motion to discuss.
I move to discuss Article 1.
Second.
Okay. Now, all those in favor, Damon Jesperson? Michael Doyle?
Yes.
Alicia Greco?
Yes.
Jeff Walker?
Yes.
And, okay, I would entertain discussion from the Board of Selectmen as of yet.
Well, I have a question. Are we going to, with all the COVID-19 world, are we going to have these reports? Are they going to be available in written form at town meeting? Should town meeting continue the way it's scheduled?
We don't have the clerk tonight. Tracy, can you shed light on this?
Sure. This first article is the opportunity for the Finance Committee to make their presentation. I believe the Public Safety, the Police Station Construction Committee will make a brief
Okay.
presentation, and I'm not sure. I haven't heard from anyone else today.
Okay, so this just opens up that.
Yep.
You have to schedule that. Okay.
Yep.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Any other discussion from the board on Article 1? I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
I approve.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker.
Yes.
Now I'll hand it over to you, Marshall.
Excuse me, 1 minute, JR?
Yes.
You need to as well. You haven't voted.
Oh, J.R. Colby.
Thank you.
Ellen.
You're welcome.
Okay. Marshall, you want to take it for the finance side?
You're
He's
on mute.
muted.
Okay. For the Finance Committee, we have, for Article 1, I am approving it. KV, are you muted as well?
KV's muted.
Yep, KV is muted. Could you unmute KV, please?
We had him for a second.
Oh, now he's muted again.
It's so for some reason the host is not allowed. It's keeps
Okay.
the host is
Got
muted.
it. Yes or no?
Yes.
Good. Tom,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes, I get booted off the internet, and I don't know. I love this.
It's frustrating.
We all, Linda, we all do.
Oh,
all right, we're done. Thank you.
okay. We'll turn to Article 2, another basic one, to see if the town will fix the salaries and the compensation of certain elected officers of the town as follows. Town moderator, 500. Board of Selectmen chair, 7,500. Board of Selectmen, each member, 7,500. Board of Assessors chair, 3,500. Board of Assessors, each member, 25. Town clerk, 62,321. Tree warden, 5,000. Fish commissioner, each member, 1,300. Planning board chair, 1,500. Planning board, each member, 1,000. Chair, 1,500. Board of Health, each member, 1,000. So I will start with is there any discussion on Article 2? This way, try to streamline things a bit. Yes, Tracy.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring to your attention that the Board of Health stipends are new this year. That was a request by the board. So those are new stipends that we added in fiscal year 2021 budget.
Any discussion from Board of Selectmen members? Okay, seeing none, I will move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Okay, Marshall.
Okay, for our board, Linda Allen, excuse me,
Yes,
okay, KV,
he's muted again.
lost him again.
I don't understand. Let's-
KV, if you do a thumbs up, I'll take it. Yes. Okay, we got it. Okay, Tom,
Yes.
thank you. And I'm a yes.
Okay,
A point of order, Chairman Colby. If we all have these, the same warrant in front of us, is it necessary to go through each line item, or can we vote the warrant unless there is a question on a specific line item in the warrant?
really, I was breaking it down for the people at home. If
Okay,
the majority participating tonight would like to streamline it a little more and go through the, the articles just as a 1, 2, 3, 4, that's fine by me too.
Well, this was the warrant posted online with the rest of the
Yes.
documents? So everybody has it to follow along. So,
either has it or can have it.
right.
Okay,
So I recommend that we go through as Marshall suggests, and then we can always discuss an article if needed.
okay. All right, sounds good. We'll move to Article 3. To see if the town is an appropriate transfer from available funds or otherwise provide to meet the salaries and wages of town officers and employees, expense and outlays of the town departments, and other sundry and miscellaneous, but regular expenditures necessary for the operation of the town for fiscal year 2021. I will move to any discussion from the Board of Selectmen.
I have a question for the town administrator. This is Alicia Greco. Tracy, do you know what increase this is over last year's budget?
I do, based on the numbers as they're currently presented here, it would equate to a 1.6% increase over last year's operating budget.
Thank you.
Modest increase for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion on Article 3 from the Board of Selectmen?
On the education, with state aid very much in question, is this figure going to be in jeopardy? Okay, it's like, because I went to the school committee meeting the other night. I just sat in, and it looks like it's a very bleak situation. Not so much this year, but next, because of revenues.
Yeah, for fiscal 2021 revenue picture is definitely is bleak, as you described it, but there is money in the CARES Act. Unfortunately, at this point in time, we're not allowed to use it for revenue replacement, but I suspect that there will be a lot of conversation about that, and because really there's nothing else for all of us to use it for. We have a lot of money available to us, but if we can't use it for revenue replacement, we really can't use it. So at this point in time, all we can include in our operating budget is what's certified to us as the approved budget of the school committee, and that's what's in here.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion from the Board of Selectmen before I move to a roll call vote?
Quickly from me, JR. It becomes really apparent, we sat at a meeting, Alicia and Damon and all of us, I think Michael, you were there also. If you take the state budget and really break it up into a piece of pie like we do ours, and you see the amount of state expenditures that go to things like, health and insurance and et cetera, and you see the slice of pie that is left for education, you begin to really understand why we're so stretched and stressed to get our state and local budgets, to our schools. There's not a lot of money that's set aside for education in the state of Massachusetts.
Which is why I was ranting and raving for all these years about how the problem doesn't lie with us and overrides, it lies at the state level. I say it again, I strongly believe the Commonwealth has stepped away from funding public education.
They
And
have.
this new system, the Student Opportunity Act does a little bit to address it, but it's not going to fix Triton's needs. And now in the age of COVID-19, we just have to stay on top of that to make sure that public education is not forgotten.
And Alicia, if you think about that slice of pie,
Yeah.
and you get that great thing subject to appropriations.
Oh, isn't that
that
fabulous?
suddenly shrinks.
And then how about the unfunded mandates too?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So anyway, it's worth looking at that piece of pie, state budget.
Okay, I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Marshall?
Okay, for the
Article
Finance Committee, are there any questions, comments, or concerns with Article 3? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve Article 3 as written.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. So I will go for the affirmative. Linda,
Yes,
Davey,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
thank you. Back to you, JR.
Okay, Article 4, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 or any other sum to be added to the stabilization fund or to take any other action in relation thereto. Any discussion or concerns from the Board of Selectmen?
Damon Jesperson, I just want to say how important I think the stabilization fund may be for us moving forward with the uncertain economic times ahead of us. So I think it's vitally important that where we're still on good footing, we continue to fund this as the future is a little uncertain right now.
I agree. And can I ask, do you know what that'll bring the balance to that fund to, Tracy?
Right now, we have 646,249.88. So obviously 700, a little over 746,000.
Which is pretty darn good.
We might need that.
Pretty good compared to the old days, for sure.
Oh,
Okay, any other questions, comments on Article 4? I will move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
No.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Marshall?
Okay, from the Finance Committee, any questions, comments?
Marshall, I just have one comment.
Yes.
When these, maybe before, at the beginning of the town meeting, I think a lot of people think when you read appropriate the sum of X dollars or any other sum, people automatically, and I know we've discussed this before, but people automatically think, oh, well, they can move 500,000 in there. So I think, and this is just a comment, but I think maybe it should be reiterated at the beginning of the meeting that any other sum means a lesser sum and not necessarily a higher sum. Because people just don't remember and they don't understand. But anyway, yes.
It's a good point, and I think we can bring that up with the moderator to make that clear at the beginning of the meeting.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Linda. I'm a yes. KV?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Thank you. JR, it's yours.
Okay. Article
We didn't get Linda's on that.
Oh, Linda.
Linda was a yes.
Okay.
Article 5, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 or any other sum to fund other post-employment benefits or take any other action in relation thereto. Any questions or comments from the board?
Can I just have this explained a little bit more?
Yeah. Tracy can do a more eloquent job than me. Basically, this is people that have retired that the town still pays out benefits to. That's our financial liability. And Tracy can explain it much more eloquently than I can.
Yeah, there are certain liabilities that a town incurs after retirement for an employee. And what we have done is every 3 years, we have an actuarial analysis performed to try and determine what the projected liability is. Right now, our projected liability is a little over 7.9 million. So what you want to do is you eventually is get it so that it's fully funded. We have to date funded $374,000. So obviously we have a long way to go. Later on in the warrant, you're going to see we're asking for some money because this is the year when we would do our update. But the other thing that's really important to keep in mind is not only are we responsible for Newberry's post-employment benefits, but we also share in Triton's post-employment benefits. So by putting it on the warrant year after year, it's to keep it on everybody's radar so that they're aware that there is this unfunded liability out there. At some point in time, I think when our buildings are done, for the most part, we can start sweeping larger balances into that account. But for right now, given our levy capacity, our levy limits, that's the amount that's available for this year.
Tracy, how fast does this grow? I mean, how fast does this get bigger? And it's going to get big.
You know, we haven't added significant amounts of employees, but as your wages grow, obviously your liability grows. But, you know, at this point in time, you know, people are absolutely living longer, you know, so.
And working longer.
Yeah, living longer, working longer. So like our liability for our retirees, again, as those wages grow, that grows. But, you know, good news, we're living longer. Bad news, it's costing us more. So.
But I think, Tracy, it's also safe to say that, you know, many other towns and cities, except for maybe the post office, are all in the same boat.
Oh yeah, there are very few
no one's funding
communities-
there. No one's funding there.
Very few communities that have fully funded their liability.
Except for West Newbury, right?
Yeah.
And one of the other things, oh, I think I'm muted.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
One of the other things to remember is that even though we have a $7.9 million liability, the liability does not come due all at once. We have that $7.9 million of liability over the lifespan of our people who are drawing from this account. And so one of the things we want to find out from the actuarial study is not, you know, the total amount is good to know, but it's the cash flow part. How much are we going to be paying off in let's say, the next 5 years, which we can get a little bit better handle on so that we can be in control of the cash flow in our budgeting for the next several years.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes.
Okay, for the Finance Committee, I'd entertain a motion to approve Article 5.
Make a motion.
Second? I'll second. Okay, I will go for a yes. Linda?
Yes,
KV?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Okay, JR, it's yours.
Okay, moving to Article 6. The town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 or any other sum for stormwater management purposes or take any other action in relation thereto. Questions from the Board of Selectmen?
I think I just want to take this opportunity to thank John O'Connell for all of his work on this. I think at some point, as we transition to James Surratt taking over, we should make sure to thank him for putting the town in such a good position as far as its stormwater management and practices, because the state handed down a lot of stuff that had to be taken care of, and he's done yeoman's work to get us ready ahead of time and not have us caught off guard and flat-footed, which would have been, instead of $25,000, $250 or $350,000 all at once. So they've done a very good job for the town.
John's done an excellent job.
And I think to echo what Damon said, the people that John assembled to help him, they've done a great job, because a lot of other towns are spending a lot of money because, you know, of engineering and water sampling people, and he had 2 or 3 people with him that did a really great job.
Okay, I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to accept Article 6 as submitted.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second,
Okay. Linda,
yes.
KB,
Yes.
I'm a yes. Tom?
Yes.
Thank you. JR, it's yours.
Okay, we will now move to Article 7. To see if the town will vote to transfer or appropriate the sum of $95,050 or any other sum from the receipts reserved cable television PEG Access Special Revenue Fund for the support of PEG Access service and programming, or take any other action in relation thereto. Any comments, questions from the Board of Selectmen?
I think when we present this to the town, we have to tell them that it's not tax money, that it comes from our cable bill. I think that's because I don't think people totally get that sometimes.
Yep.
And
Any
do we have
ahead.
any, I'm sorry, JR. Alicia
Go ahead,
Greco.
Alicia.
Do we have any, do you know what that's earmarked for? How much is going towards the local and government, and how much to the education channels?
It doesn't get separated out like that. They present a budget and they list, you know, how much for the internet, the iPad, the membership, the Alliance Community Media, PEG training, tightrope, software. They list all the individual
Okay.
expenses.
Is there any capital improvements in that, do you know?
There are some equipment. There's about $5,000 in there for equipment, general supplies, software and hardware upgrades, $1,500. And that's about all I see for capital. But remember, we're replacing all the equipment. We already had that, received the appropriation at town meeting. So we're in the process of doing a bid and replacing, upgrading
Okay,
the equipment.
perfect. Thank you.
I'll move to any other questions or comments from the board? I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Marshall?
Okay, just a comment back to Mike Doyle's question. The revenue does not come directly from the taxpayers. It comes indirectly from the taxpayers, because
Yeah,
the
but
cable
still,
folks charge to cover this.
right, but still, there are people out there that don't have Comcast,
Yep,
okay? And it's like, it doesn't come out of their pocket, because I hear that all the time.
yep, okay, point well taken. So I'd entertain a motion to approve Article 7 as submitted.
Make a motion.
Second? Linda?
Second,
Okay. Yes or no?
oh, yes.
Thank you. KB?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Thank you. JR is yours.
Okay, we'll move to Article 8, to see if the town will vote to authorize the total expenditures for the following revolving funds pursuant to General Law Chapter 44, Section 53E and the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2019, be expended in accordance with the bylaws hereto approved. And this is the Recreation Revolving Fund and Municipal Waterways Improvement and Maintenance Fund. Any questions or comments from the Board of Selectmen? This is Article 8.
Nope.
Hearing none, I will move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to accept Article 8 as submitted.
Make a motion.
Second, Linda,
Yep, yes. Second,
Davey,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. Okay. JR?
Okay, we'll move to Article 9, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, transfer from available funds the following sums or any other sums to operate the ambulance enterprise. Salary and wages, 94,928, expenses, 90,000, capital outlay, 12,000, debt service, 5,505, insurance, 5,000, Medicare, 1,400, indirect costs, 57,692. Extraordinary and unforeseen is 10,000. The prior year deficit is 0. The total is $276,525. And further, that $276,525 be as follows. Departmental receipts, $276,525, or take any other action in relation thereto. I will move to questions or comments from the Board of Selectmen.
I think with the revolving funds, it's always good to remind people that these accounts have been self-sustaining and are not drawing on taxpayer money. We're just executing an action for them.
Right. I remember when we moved to the municipal ambulance, there was some level of concern or wonder how close it would come to supporting itself. This is the ambulance service, and it's been a great success. Much credit to Chief Janvrin, members, and Tracy Blaze. We have an ambulance service that funds itself, and that's something to be proud of. Any other comments from the board? I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Marshall?
Thank you, JR. Before I move to a vote, Tracy, can you tell us how much is in the fund, or are we completely depleting the fund from last year?
You mean, what did they certify last year for free cash? Is that,
In other words, whatever is charged, the ambulance fund, as JR put it, this is not money, this is money that's coming in that we then turn around and give back to them for their operations. Are they operating in a surplus or a deficit?
they're operating in a surplus. Yep,
Okay.
they're currently operating in a surplus. And last year, I was just looking to see what they certified. $104,129. So they were in a surplus as of June 30th, as of the close of business operations in fiscal year 2019.
Good, okay. I'd entertain a motion to accept Article 9 as submitted.
Marshall, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
The $94,000 for salary and wages, is that on top of the money that's already appropriated for the fire department under their salary?
Yes.
It is.
So it's 100,000 plus whatever's been appropriated.
Yeah, that 94,000 is just for ambulance wages.
And how is that broken out from the fire department wages?
It is completely separate from fire department wages. So anyone doing ambulance runs or working on the ambulance gets paid directly out of the enterprise fund. And as a matter of fact, we also charge back all of the town's indirect costs that we incur. So if that person, say it's a full-time employee and their benefits eligible, their benefits would be applied against the enterprise fund. The time it takes for the town accountant to do the accounting for it gets applied against it. The treasurer collector's time gets applied against it. So we do charge all of the indirect costs against the enterprise fund now.
Would it be my understanding that most of that salary and wages would be in an overtime situation where, because during the day they're working,
No, we have a lot of hourly people that staff our ambulance,
okay, I'm just,
like per diem people.
if they're working during the daytime,
Yep,
scheduled shift,
yep,
how are they being paid? The town or through the ambulance fund?
depends. Depends on if they have an ambulance run. If it's someone that's an EMT, they can jump on the ambulance and that time would be charged against the enterprise account.
Okay.
Okay, looking for a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I'll second it. Linda,
Yes?
Gabe,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
and Paul. I got a yes on that.
Yeah, I saw the hand.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. JR, it's yours.
Okay, we spoke about the post-employment benefits a little bit earlier, and this is another article that deals with that. Article 10. Town will vote to transfer the sum of $6,200 or any other sum from free cash to update the OPEB actuarial analysis or take any other action in relation thereto. What this basically does is it gives us a snapshot into the future of our post-employment benefit liability. So this helps us plan financially. Any questions or comments from the Board of Selectmen? Okay, hearing none, I will move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
J.R. Colby, yes. Marshall?
Thank you, JR. Now, this is going to give us our basically budget going forward for what we owe in the next 3 years. Is that correct, Tracy? Or a little bit better idea of that?
For the next 3 years, yep.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Linda,
Yes?
KB,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
and Paul.
Yes.
Thank
you. And I'm a yes as well. Okay, JR, it's yours.
Okay. Article 11, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $65,900 or any other sum from the stabilization fund to make repairs to the town of Newberry Library or act in relation thereto. Questions or comments from the board?
What's being done to the library?
I know there's a front steps deficiency. I believe there's a siding issue. Tracy, pipe with anything I'm missing. Do we have a small roof repair there? Or is that just?
Repair. There's a lot of little things. We updated this year. We did our building envelope study. And in addition to the building envelope, we also did all of the mechanicals. We had an outside company come in and do an assessment. We did it, I want to say, oh gee, Marshall, I don't know. Can you remember the last time the capital planning committee did that? It had to be more than 5 years ago.
Yes.
So we updated it and they give us a spreadsheet and they list out all of the repairs that need to be made. And this reflects the 2021 repairs that should be addressed.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
Real quick to Marshall. So capital planning is still teeing everything up, before it gets to us and you, Marshall.
Yes. What we have, Jeff, is we take a look at this. This is a total package.
No, I don't mean just the school, but you guys are still, capital planning is still setting everything in motion, right?
We
Well,
set things in motion if they come within the purview of capital planning. So it has to be 3 years or longer and $10,000 or more.
I remember that. Yep. Good.
So a lot of these things that you're going to see will be, if you take them in the aggregate, they're more than 10,000. You take them separately, they're less.
Yep.
So those are some of the issues that we have to deal with.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions or comments from the board? We'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Okay, Marshall?
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve Article 11 as submitted.
Make a
Make
motion.
a motion.
Okay,
Sorry.
second.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, I'll go for a yes. Linda,
Yes.
Kavy,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Paul? Yes, okay, got it.
Okay,
Hey, JR, it's yours.
now we'll move to Article 12, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $92,700 or any other sum from the stabilization fund to make repairs to the Newberry Elementary School or act in relation thereto. And this is for preventative roof repair at the school.
Yep.
So we can get a hold of this before the roof leaks.
Is this gonna fix the leak in the auditorium? Because, or has that already been addressed? That's like a sieve.
I don't know which, you're talking about the elementary school?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the roof on the elementary school.
yeah.
If that hasn't been fixed already, this will encapsulate it, because this is basically a review of aging rubber roof is what we have up there. And I know some repairs have been made in the past, so is whether what you're seeing is stains from the past or current, that I can't tell you.
Yeah.
JR,
Yes.
do we have how long this repair is expected to last? Is this a 10-year, 20, 30, 50?
I'd have to review their warranty, but this is just the first year of the plan. We had a company called IRC Roof Management Services come out and look at it because we knew that a full roof replacement would cost, a significant amount of money. So rather than do that, they look at all the different components of the roof and they advise you on which pieces you should do first, like what the immediate needs are, and all of it's in an effort to extend the useful life of the roof. But I don't know how long their warranty is. I'll find out.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments from the board? I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Marshall?
Thank you, JR. I would entertain a motion to accept Article 12 as submitted.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
All right.
Linda,
Yes.
KV,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Paul? Paul,
Yes.
thank you. JR, it's yours.
Article 13, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $42,400 or any other sum from free cash for the purpose of upgrading the town hall, council on aging, DPW, and fire department technology, hardware and software, as well as the town hall, police department, and fire department phone system license, or take any other action in relation thereto. Questions or comments from the Board of Selectmen?
Could you go into a little detail about, or Tracy, what these upgrades are as far as what they're going to accomplish and what we're changing out?
Our whole phone system has been changed out, or is being changed out in the process. So we'll all be interconnected, and all of our software licenses need to be brought up to date to make sure that every workstation has the appropriate licensing that's necessary. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Marshall?
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to accept Article 13 as submitted. Any questions or?
So moved.
Okay,
I'll
second.
make a motion.
Okay, I'll second it. Linda?
Yes.
Okay, KB?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Paul? Paul?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, JR?
Okay, Article 14, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $90,000 or any other sum from free cash to construct a basketball court at the Central Street Recreation Area, or take any other action in relation thereto. The Recreation Committee brought this forward last year, and wish to bring it back again this year. I feel financially, we have the ability to do this without cramping ourselves. I think it's a positive for our young people, really sharp students and dedicated students, and also, you know, maybe some kids that are a little less focused on school and more focused on working. It's I know when I was younger, the basketball court at the Yellow School in Byfield, that's where we used to meet and shoot the ball around a little bit, and it was fun. And, you know, times we were doing that, times we weren't really getting in trouble. So I see the good in it. Any comments from the questions?
I do see the good, but I just say, oh, go ahead. I yield to Jesperson.
I was just wondering if we could hear from capital planning and how they rank this before we take our vote.
Okay, be happy to do that. When this came up before us the last time, it was ranked the lowest of all of the capital expenditures. And they thought they had enough money in their revolving account to cover a great deal of that. You have to go back to Tracy and see what they have now. But to answer your question, it was the lowest priority of any of the expenditures that we had come before us.
Like I was saying, JR, I agree, it's a good idea, but with the uncertainty of funding coming down the road, I just think this is not the year to do this.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
I believe that they had looked at this, and I think they have a little money aside, saved aside from grants for this too, or
But 90,000, still 90,000.
yes, I do agree. No, that's it.
Damon?
Just my comment. I think I was opposed to this last year going forward because of the budgetary concerns. I think we can let it come before town meeting to see what they have to say about it, although I'm nervous about this town meeting not being very well attended, and so not having a representation of the town very well or very accurate at this meeting. So I'm hesitant, but I think it should go on the warrant.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think we should let town meeting speak.
It's funny, like JR, I played a lot of basketball, and basketball can actually really affect some lives. It would be kind of cool if eventually, if they had money, they could put some nets up on, when not in use, maybe for tennis matches. I don't, so maybe they could stripe it when they get enough money for tennis too. But, it'd be nice if they had a little money to contribute. But I think what Damon said and what Alicia said, maybe putting it before town meeting wouldn't be a bad thing to do.
And I believe that the Recreation Committee feels as if this has the potential to be a revenue generating basketball court as well, similar to what, when the leagues start to play there, they would, similar to how Mantor Field is handled, the rec fields down there, the soccer teams come play it. And they feel as if that the project that they want to bring forward for Newberry is, it's specific for, it's not just an asphalt court like they had down at the Yellow School. It's going to be easy on your knees, and it's going to be a court that is something that people will want to play on. Similar to the grass fields that we have at the rec fields, those are, there's not too much like that around here. And they want to continue with that very high watermark with this. So they do have a plan.
And that money goes back into maintenance, right?
Right.
I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
No,
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes.
Okay. Tracy, can you tell us what what folks have in their revolving fund that might be available to utilize, number one? And number two, I'm going to make the suggestion that when this comes up, that the members, or at least a representative from the recreational committee, be invited to present in front of the annual town meeting what their plan is for this. So to you, Tracy.
Right now, they have a current balance of $110,642. But earlier in the warrant, you approved $50,000 of that to run their normal programming. So that just leaves them, it doesn't leave them the full 90,000.
So it leaves them 60 though.
Right,
60 and change.
right.
Okay.
And that would be their entire account would be utilized for that.
And historically speaking, have they been operating at a surplus or a deficit?
Historically, they've been operating at a surplus. However, right now they're the fields aren't able to be used. So I don't know whether or not we're going to have to be returning some of the revenue. I don't know if it's been collected to date or if it just won't be billed. So this year could be the first year there would be a deficit.
Okay. So I entertain a motion to approve the Article 14 as submitted.
Marshall, I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Last year when this came forward, there was some discussion, number one, that they didn't have the money, but they were looking at using that court more for renting it out to use it for people to have training time there, and their own businesses run out of that. I wasn't opposed to it then, other than the money was tight last year. I'd be more apt to be in favor this year had we not in the situation we're in at this point. But I just look at the 90,000, given where we are and where we don't know where the future is looking, that this is probably not the best use of 90,000 at this point.
Okay, thank you. A motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second? I'll
Second.
second it. Okay. I'm going to vote no on this. And I think I agree that it is not a prudent use of funds at this time when we have so much uncertainty before us, even though I like the idea. Linda?
I agree with you, Marshall, so I'll vote no.
Katie?
I agree with you, Marshall. I'm voting no.
Tom?
No.
Paul?
No.
Okay. JR, it's yours.
Okay, we will move to bylaws. Article 15, to see if the town will vote to amend the code of the town of Newbury, Part 2, general legislation, by adopting a new Chapter 89A stretch energy code, the purpose of regulating the design and construction of buildings for the effective use of energy pursuant to Appendix 115, Document A of the Massachusetts Building Code, 780 CMR, the stretch energy code, including future additions, amendments, or modifications thereto, with an effective date of July 1st, 2020. I would open up discussion, questions, comments from the Board of Selectmen.
We had a presentation on this, I believe. Didn't we, on the stretch energy? Martha, is she on?
Yep, she's here.
Can't hear her. Can't hear her.
Can't hear you.
Martha, did you hear my question?
There's no microphone on her computer if she's at work.
Okay. Tracy, did we have a presentation on this?
We did.
When?
The only thing I need clarity. It is also residential. Can you remember?
I don't know. Martha would have to answer that.
It is on residential as well. The
Oh, go ahead.
differences are very minor from where our code currently is to include the stretch code.
Okay.
I guess one thing that causes me concern, I was opposed to this a few years ago when it came before us. I was concerned it would cost the construction in town too steep. In consultation with some contractors, I know town planner, Sam Joslin, when he was still with us, the stretch energy code is pretty much risen to the same level as our code is now. Only thing that causes me hesitation at this point is the automatic approval of updates to this. I guess I'm a little concerned we're going to get into a cycle of the state that we have no way to stop. Any thoughts or questions from the Board of Selectmen on this article?
Mr. Chairman, I just, like I said, I wasn't on the board when this was discussed, so I'm not comfortable voting for something I'm not really know all the facts about, so.
Any,
I think the only thing I'm a little worried about is, you know, it's like what I do on the marsh. A lot of times people that make the regulations have never set their foot on the marsh, you know, and like I'm sure the people that are pushing forward to save energy are well-intentioned, but I get into trouble if the specifications of a building code are going to make it so they have to have, you know, air transfer, you know, that the buildings become so sealed off. That's where I get into a little, when it goes beyond like R35s in the ceilings and R20s in the walls, you know, it gets to be a house that just doesn't breathe. But anyway, that's just me.
I think
Nope, you
one
go,
of the
Jamie.
things to remember is that we can always change the bylaw again to remove ourselves from the stretch code should we desire, but it also opens us up to receiving grants to help our elderly with repairs and other things. So right now the town is not able to get certain monies because we haven't adopted this code. So we all pay our state taxes. We can't get that state money back unless we come up to this standard. So it's kind of like the CPA where we pay into it and we don't get anything out of it. And since our building code is already at or beyond stretch code, I think we're jilting our residents by not adopting it.
I guess, Damon, it all sounds good to me, but we just don't have that. And you know me, I'm not against this, but I'd like to kind of really know what the figure it does, what it does add to a new house. Is it 5%, 10%, 15%? You know, I don't know.
Well, does it really add anything at all?
Sorry, it's my fault.
Martha wants to join so badly.
It's really bad.
Can't you go upstairs and join it, Tracy?
We got to let the brains in.
Nope, there's no echo, Martha.
I'm sorry.
Oh. You sound like you're in the Matterhorn.
Only in Zoom.
Tracy, if we amended this to eliminate future additions, amendments, or modifications here too, is that something we can do tonight, or does it really have to go before council?
I'd have to ask town council if that would be acceptable. I don't know the answer to that. If you're gonna amend it.
So what I'm hearing, if I'm correct me if I'm hearing wrong, that this stretch code, and Martha, you can just nod yes or no. The stretch code is, if we pass it, it will be equal to or less than the current building code the town of Newberry already has. It's not adding, yes, she gave me a thumbs up. So it's not making it more difficult for builders to do things in Newberry. Oh, she's gonna say one comment.
Was that a thumbs up or one comment, Alicia?
I don't know, but I would be, if it's not going to add any more burden onto our builders in construction, and that's both commercial, residential, businesses, I think we should pass it.
Well, I mean, this is the push, and correct me, Tracy, if I'm wrong. I mean, this is that push from the MVP and all the other lieutenant governor. This is the push from the state to tighten up as much, obviously, going forward because of, you know, climate change and everything else. The more energy and we save, the, less we use. And if we certainly can get grants and everything else, that has, it has incentive for us to pass this. I just wish I knew what the projected, I mean, if it really is the same and doesn't project out a hell of a lot more cost on a new house for people in our town, and, I'm okay with it.
I just want to clarify my comments. I'm not concerned about costs put on contractors. It's actually quite lucrative for them. I'm more concerned about the costs that are put on the person that's trying to build a home, the person that's trying to retrofit or open their business. So if there are no more questions or comments, I'll move to a roll call vote.
Oh, I think Martha's dialing.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that. My camera has a microphone. I don't know why it's not picking up. Just a couple things. This is one of the criteria that are required for the stretch energy code, criterion number 5, which we have discussed before. We had the presentation on that. Under Mass General Law, I think it's Chapter 25, Section 10, I'm not 100% sure, does require energy saving means, and this is one of the ways that the town can meet that requirement. There are alternatives, but we would have to show that any alternative that we chose meets those criteria. Currently, there are 278 communities out of 351 that have adopted the stretch energy code. I think Rowley is the last one in our area besides us who's in the process of doing it now, and that was as of November 2019. So this does have a it's minimally more, I don't want to, minimally more restrictive than the base energy code, but it really has to do with energy savings that we're required to make anyway. I talked to Bob Sinibaldi, our interim building inspector, about this, and he said that he had not been very much in favor originally, but he found that green communities as a whole it really was very beneficial to Merrimack. And it's also something that all of the builders in town are now used to dealing with in other communities. As far as the update question is concerned, that's just standard language that every time there's an update to the state code, it would automatically update this rather than our having to readopt it and go through that process every time. So that's pretty standard.
Well, Martha, while you're still there, so this is the one in a lifetime chance the town has to okay making a state building code more rigorous. That's what we're actually doing, right? Because this is a state building code that we're adding this layer of complexity to, right?
It is, but again, it's a standard. It's helping us to meet a standard that's going to have to be met anyway, one way or another. So most communities are choosing to adopt the stretch energy code to do that. Unfortunately, I have the information on my phone, which I can't access now because I'm talking to you.
So in other words, what you're saying is one way or another, we're going to have to address this somehow. It's a state mandate?
It is. If you can hold on just a sec. Sorry, I can't find it now.
That's okay.
So
So it's a state mandate. We're going to have to address it one way or another.
we are going to have some way of addressing these standards for energy efficiency.
Any other questions or comments from the board on Article 15? Hang on, Mike's muted. See if we can unmute Mike.
Thank you.
We got you.
I'm good with questions.
Okay.
One last one, JR. And Martha's still on too. I mean, is this incredibly timely? I mean, where we're a little wondering about, should we go through another presentation again and get a little more understanding of this? Or is it something that's pretty timely, Martha?
It's really up to you. If we want to try for green communities this year, it would be good to pass it at the annual town meeting. If we wait until fall, it will probably be too late because the applications are due in October. It's certainly not, it's not a requirement that we do it, but as Damon was saying earlier, we will get a certain amount of funds when we get designated as a green community, and it also allows us to apply for other kinds of funding. This is 1 out of 5 criteria. Most of the other ones we've met. The one that needs to be done now is an energy reduction plan. So that is, that's the other sort of significant effort that will need to be done in order for us to submit our application. If we don't do it this year, we can do it next year, but we're kind of behind the ball in terms of most of the other communities in Newbury, in Massachusetts.
Well, I'm not going to probably have a real problem with making voting to put it on the warrant, but I would like maybe some really good explanation of this so that people at town meeting will know what they're deciding on.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I think we could get that. We could arrange that. We could, if it would be helpful, we could see if Neil Duffy could be there, or we can put together some sort of presentation.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I will move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson?
Yes.
Michael Doyle?
No,
Sorry, Mike, what was that?
no.
Okay. Alicia Greco?
Yes.
Jeff Walker?
Yes, with the condition that we really talk about it.
J.R. Colby, no. I'm concerned about the costs to people building homes and businesses. Okay, Marshall?
JR, this falls under the rubric of things that the Finance Committee did not vote on, but left to the will of the town.
Okay,
So we'll leave that one to the will of the town and we'll take no vote on it.
okay. 16, to see if the town will vote to amend Chapter 41, alcoholic beverages and marijuana, Section 41-1 of the Town of Newbury General Bylaws as follows. Underline in bold. Tracy, do you want to walk us through this one?
That was a request that came before the board from the Byfield Community Arts Center to allow them to have programs that offered alcoholic beverages in a municipal building. And Lisa provided the language change to our bylaw.
Any questions or comments from the board?
I think this gives us the flexibility so that if someone wants to have a wedding out on Mantor Field or any other town property, or a celebration of any sort, you know, we were kind of hamstrung by the previous law. I think this gives us some flexibility while maintaining control and safety. So I think it's a good shift.
And any other comments or questions from the board? I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
J.R. Colby, yes. Marshall, you folks didn't take that one up?
We did not.
Okay. Article 17, I will recuse from the vote, but I'll read the motion because of the article, because of the circumstances we're under here. Article 17, to see if the town will vote in accordance with General Law, Chapter 59, Section 38H, to authorize the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Assessors to negotiate and enter into and execute a personal property tax agreement with Main Street Newbury Solar One LLC for a period of up to 25 years, whereby Main Street Newbury Solar One LLC will pay the town a sum of money per year relative to a photovoltaic solar facility to be located on a 12.11 acre parcel of land located at Assessors Map R42, Lot 13, and Map R41, Lot 42, or take any action in relation thereto. Questions or comments from the Board of Selectmen?
I'm going to recuse myself as an abutter.
Great. Tracy, what is the payment in lieu of taxes likely to be for this one?
I don't have it off the top of my head. I would have to research it. It's been so long since I last reviewed it.
Okay.
I can't remember the terms.
Any other questions or comments from the Board of Selectmen?
No.
Okay. I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
She's
Recusing
recused.
myself.
okay, Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby recuse. So we will move to Article 18.
Do you want to talk with FinCom?
Oh,
Yeah. Did you take it up, Marshall?
we did not take it up. Katie, do you know what that that tax is going to be or have any idea of it?
I don't. That's negotiated between the town and Borrego.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we ready to move to a roll call vote? Oh, we did it, so we're good.
We-
Good.
I just
Sorry.
wanted to make sure that since it involved money, I thought FinCom may have had something
You're
to say.
messing with me, JR.
Yeah, all the procedure and roll call votes, man, oh man. Okay, we will move to Article 18. To see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to petition the General Court of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to amend Chapter 460 of the Acts of 2008, and to see if the town will vote to amend the Newbury General Bylaws to replace all gendered references to Board of Selectmen with Select Board, or take any other action in relation thereto. Comments or questions from the Board of Selectmen?
At the MMA meeting, everyone's doing this, so I think it's a good idea.
The Massachusetts Board of Select, it's no longer the Board of Selectmen, the state, it's the Select Board.
Okay, hearing no other questions or comments, I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes.
Chairman Colby?
Yes.
Just wanted to let you know the amount of the pilot is $12,500 a year. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you. So we'll move to Article 19. No. Article 19, to see if the town will vote, to see if the town will vote
Typo.
amend, little typo there, the Newbury zoning bylaws to replace all gendered references to Board of Selectmen with Select Board, or take any other action in relation thereto. Any questions or comments? I'd say this is legal housekeeping.
There's no way we can combine Article 18 and 19, can we?
Not according to town council.
I think one it has to do with at the state level, and one has to do with the town level.
Yeah, I think you're right. Meetings are long.
Hey, it was worth a shot.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments on Article 19 from the Board of Selectmen?
No.
I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes.
JR, that was a motion to approve as corrected, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Citizens petitions to see if the town will vote to sell the property located at 31 Plum Island Boulevard. Questions or comments from the Board of Selectmen?
Don't they get to go on anyway, or do we?
Those, the signatures have all been certified, so those 4 articles, which were presented by Jim Moran and executed by the requisite number of signatures, will automatically go on the warrant.
Okay. So I will read these warrant articles for the people at home. These are citizens petitions from Jim Moran. The first one was to see if the town will vote to sell the property located at 31 Plum Island Boulevard. Article 21 is to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $1 million from the town hall project account to free cash. Article 22, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $500,000 from free cash to the fiscal year 2021 operating budget. And Article 23, to see if the town will vote to limit the fiscal year 2021 operating budget to a maximum increase of 2.5 from the fiscal year 2020 operating budget. So, and we're looking at
So I have a question, Chairman. You know how we just voted on all the other warrants articles, but in the booklet that comes to the town meeting people that says recommended by the Board of Selectmen or recommended by the Finance Committee, are we going to vote on this so that our will show on this, or is that not part of this?
in the past, I don't think we voted on citizens petitions, but I'm, whatever the feeling is, I'm not going to lay in the way.
I just wanted, I wanted to be clear to town meeting, because they're the legislative body, that this didn't come from their executive branch.
Right, right. And I think, you know, the time to debate that will be a town meeting, I think.
I agree.
So, okay, that covers our town meeting warrant.
Just a second, JR.
Yes.
because these articles do involve cash or money, and this is the Finance Committee. And so I think from the Finance Committee's point of view, we do get to weigh in on this.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to skip Article 20 and let that be argued at town meeting, but Article 21, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $1 million from the town hall project account to free cash. From a point of view of the Finance Committee, since we had approved of the transfer into the town hall project, and there has been no appearance to justify this, I don't see that we would support it. I will, however, ask for a vote of the committee, the members of the committee, to see if in fact we would recommend for or against this particular article. So that being said, I'd entertain a motion to vote on this article.
So moved.
Second? I'd second it. I would vote no on that particular article. Linda?
I would vote no.
Okay, Katie?
No.
Tom?
I need more information for it, so I'd have to say no at this point.
You want to know? You can abstain if you like.
I'll go with the no at this point.
Okay. Paul?
No.
Thank you.
Hey, Marshall, question.
Yeah.
I think Tom makes a good point in regards to, citizens are putting this up. I think, as Tom said, we don't have enough information, right? They're making an argument. They're not necessarily presenting the argument to the FinCom. So it's all we have is like this one letter, this kind of sentence of what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a debatable event because we have no background information. So I would almost say no to all of them, because unless they're willing to come in front of FinCom and have that conversation, otherwise it just becomes a broader debate in front of the town meeting. I don't know if it's, did they provide anybody with background when they gave these, these petitions with signatures?
Gracie?
Chairman, for that particular one, they wrote a letter with the article, and they said in 2017, 3 years ago, the town voted to renovate and make an addition to the town hall on High Road. In the past 3 years, the town has not come up with a plan to do this work. The OPM and architect is under contract with the town for this scope of work. Months and months will go by before the town determines what to do and the architect does the design. Hence, there is no need for any money to be sitting in the account at this time. When the time is right and a good plan is in hand, the voters can decide the funding. But I think what we're trying to do is put money aside so we don't have to bond this project out, so we can, yes, we certify our free cash, sweep money into the account so we don't have to go back to the taxpayers. But
No, I agreed. The notion of it was to save money, and I think, Damon, that you were the driving force behind that, weren't you? This town hall.
Yeah, asked to create the town hall account fund so that it would not end up as such a burden on the residents when we move to that construction.
Got it. And I agree with the background. I guess the question is, when this goes up to, does this get voted on at town hall?
At the town meeting, annual
At town meeting, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So this will get a vote for, and if they choose to move this to free cash, this will get moved.
Yeah, they got the required amount of signatures.
What it does happen in the annual town meeting is we will have the ability to debate this issue. And since it has not come before us at a meeting of the Finance Committee, either, I think the proper thing is to say no or abstain, and to have that discussion at the annual town meeting and let the people of the town judge for themselves which way this should go. But I would not recommend for it. And since it is a financial part of the warrant, I think as Finance Committee, we have to weigh in on it.
Understood.
And Tracy, just for, since we're looking for some background information, what was the required amount of signatures for these citizens petitions?
I'm not sure what the town clerk's requirements are.
Or what are they, about 15 signatures on them?
One of them had 15, one of them had 29. One of them had 32. And the final one had 32 as well.
Thank you.
Marshall, I go back to my original conversation that them not coming before us with more information, I don't know that I could take and make a decision whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, so I'd stick with the no.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do you want to have more discussion about the citizens petitions, Marshall?
I'm going to go to Article 22.
Okay.
Okay. Article 22, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $500,000 from free cash to the FY 2021 operating budget. At this point, I don't see a reason to do this. And so, Tracy, is there any reason to, at this time, do something that we can do later on in the year after review with the Finance Committee?
The rationale, I guess, for lack of a better word, they provided was by moving 500,000 into the operating budget, it will reduce taxes to the taxpayers. In effect, it will return money to the taxpayers.
Is that true? I don't see how, I don't follow that logic. Can you explain that to me?
The logic is old school,
Yeah.
one-time feel-good solutions. Behavior like that's not sustainable. It's, you know, getting into the habit of using one-time solutions got this.
Oh, yeah, that's very poor fiscal planning, and I know it does put a risk at our bond rating. Is that not true, Tracy? If we start implementing these not sound fiscal policies?
I don't know that if if this happened at town meeting, if the rating agencies would, there's no rating agency police that would come out and say, oh, look, this is, contrary.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
So I didn't fully understand what was the reasoning in terms. I understand. I heard Chairman Colby say that it was a one-time solution, but to solve for what, I guess?
Really nothing. It's a one-time feel-good of, as Jim puts it, to transfer the 500,000 from free cash to the operating budget. It's his opinion that would return the money to the people.
But what I don't understand is the operating budget is balanced right now. So is he looking to put it into next year, fiscal year 2021? And I don't know if that's even legal.
When the thing is with citizens petitions, they don't go through our process. They are required to get 10 signatures. So they go out, they get their 10 signatures, and it automatically goes on the warrant. It does not go through any of our process. So the Finance Committee doesn't have the opportunity to ask their questions. We don't have the opportunity to understand what they're trying to do. That debate occurs at town meeting when it's presented as a citizen petition.
Okay, from the Finance Committee, I would entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Second? Okay, I would not vote in favor of this. I'd say no. Linda?
No.
Katie?
I think he's frozen.
I was thinking the same thing.
I think we lost him. Okay, Tom?
No.
Paul?
No.
Okay, Katie, I'm gonna mark you as an abstention until, oh, there you are.
Yeah.
You're moving again.
Here you go.
Katie, did you hear the motion?
I think he's gone again. Oh,
There it is.
Oh, you're dropping in and out.
I'm good. Yes.
We hear you now.
So,
Yes.
okay.
Nice, yes, I'm a no on that.
Okay, thank you.
We're gonna miss these Zoom meetings.
So much.
Like a toothache, I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah, right.
Article 23, to see if the town will vote to limit the fiscal year 2021 operating budget to a maximum increase of 2.5% from the FY 2020 total operating budget. Tracy, do you have any idea what this is all about?
It just says to minimize the tax burden on the taxpayers of Newbury. And, you know, we do have Proposition 2.5.
Yeah.
That doesn't allow us to go beyond a 2.5% increase from one year to the next, exclusive of overrides,
Mm-hmm.
which the town has already passed some for the police station. So I'm
But
not,
this is
again,
redundant.
I'm not sure.
Okay. From the Finance Committee, I would entertain a motion to approve Article 23.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, second. I would vote no on that. Linda,
No.
Katie,
No.
Paul, Tom?
No.
no.
Okay. All right, JR, it's yours.
We have one question
Yeah.
to Marshall.
Yeah.
Do you think in future on any of these citizens' concerns, we should have them come to the Finance Committee?
Would love to have them come to a Finance Committee.
I think down the road in the future, maybe the Board of Selectmen can discuss that, and I'm not sure what it would take, but if anyone puts a citizen's concern on maybe they should go to the Finance Committee and explain why they're doing it.
Well, certainly if it comes with a,
Money,
with
with
$1
money.
million price tag, or you're,
Exactly, I agree 100% with you.
I have one question I have is if it's only 10 signatures and, I think it's all for hearing people and getting things on, these petitions out. But within a COVID environment, if there is not a lot of people that go to this meeting and there's only 10 signatures needed, that can influence financial decisions of some significant cash flows. I think these are the types of things that we should be discussing on how to mitigate some of the risks that are inherent in the process.
Yeah, I agree with Katie on this 150%. This type of poor town management is what I'm going to call it, because there's no thought process behind it. It puts the town at risk. It puts the taxpayer at risk, and it's I'm very disappointed to see this come before the town like this. It could really harm us.
But just to get back, he said only 10. I think one of them had 50 signatures. So it's like
15, I think she said.
I thought you said 5-0.
15.
15. Okay, I'm sorry. I missed that.
I think, I don't know the exact numbers, 6,000 plus residents in Newbury. If you're gathering, obviously people can't gather 30, 40% of that, but I just think that 10 is a small number to sway and push certain agendas. That's all I'm saying. And look, it doesn't represent the vast majority of people, and the vast majority of people will vote the way they do. It's just, it seems kind of ludicrous that 10 can create $1 million shift in budgeting.
KB, I've been going to town meetings for over 40 years. And it's sometimes they were calling people off the ball fields when I was a kid. If you were old enough to vote to have a quorum. So I hear what you're saying, but it's like, it's the nature of town meeting right now. And
Yep.
it's like, it's like, maybe some down the road we should consider a representative town meeting or something, but it's like, I don't know what the answer is, but you're right. And you can stack a town meeting and and swing a vote.
Yep.
Well, I also think KB's got a point. It might be kind of nice. Maybe citizens' petitions should come at the front of the meeting. Because it's always, if it's at the end of the meeting, people have left.
All right, that's another good point, Jeff. Excellent point.
Yeah, I would like to have that discussion right now. I'd like to change the article numbers, and I'd like to have these articles come at the beginning of the town meeting for that specific reason. I don't know if that's possible.
Sure, however you want it.
Let the chairman speak on that.
If someone wants to make a motion, I'd entertain a vote. I mean, unless.
I move to renumber Articles 20, 21, 22, and 23 to bring them to the beginning and renumber them to Article 1, 2, 3. Article, how about we number them after Article 3, so put them in Article 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then pick up Article 8 will be Article 4 and move forward.
No, it's a good idea, Elisham.
So is that a second?
I'll second that. Yes, I'm sorry.
Is that a good spot we want to put them on the agenda? I think.
Is this something we want to think about for a month, other than doing a knee jerk tonight, switching things around from a way it never has been?
But do we have to?
I don't know if we have time because we have to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure we have time for a month.
Yeah, we have to post 2 weeks prior to the town meeting. So
Do we have another selectmen's meeting?
we have the next selectmen's meeting will be after the posting deadline. So
No, I think it's imperative that we put this up front. I don't want to leave this to the end because people will leave. And I think we also need to let everyone know about this, what's happening at town meeting and how this small faction can sway the fiscal clarity and the fiscal soundness of the town, and that they need to come.
And I would say, I think it's FinCom's, we just need to make sure that we're prepared to speak to what you're right. Like, I don't want to make broad statements that, hey, what you think is wrong. I want to come armed with the facts to say, here's why we think it's fiscally irresponsible to do these actions, right?
Yes.
And I think that's the big thing. I don't want people assuming that we don't want your voices heard, have your voice heard, but let's come with the data and the facts that represent why we have the opinion that we think is best for our community.
Yep. So everyone in town meeting can make a knowledgeable vote.
Tracy, what's the vote number? What's the vote number to pass? Is it what? What's the vote needed for free cash?
It's just majority, right?
the majority.
Isn't it a majority?
Yep.
Wow.
It's the majority. Yeah.
Ooh, maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just jump in here, because we've had people who are very interested in spending some money, and what comes right to mind is the Recreation Committee. And the Recreation Committee, when they have a plan and they want to spend some money, they do come to FinCom, they do explain what they want, and they do give us a chance to talk about their plans, their repayment, and all of the other things that would be really of interest to the town meeting and to the administration of the town to know in advance. And so we can have that debate and have a good dialogue. this coming without a dialogue I agree with KV. It's just a very, very poor way to try and run the town. And so for that reason, I wanted to vote on these and to not recommend them to town meeting.
So my concern is when we put the rationale forward, is the finance committee has all voted no. Now, is the Board of Selectmen not going to take a vote on this? And it's not, we're going to have to speak to it. It's not going to be in the hands of the town meeting members?
If it's,
How we feel on this?
if Chairman Colby said we haven't done in the past, I don't think we should do it now.
See why we couldn't switch it. I was just kind of cautioning. It seems like a quick move. So I like to think about things a little.
I agree, JR.
I can't speak to, where it goes within the, I would actually, my suggestion is that's why you have town council. But I do think that either way, if FinCom, if maybe Marshall, if we can get some time for them to reach out to us just to have a discussion. And the only reason why I say that is because let's assume that this was a good article and we agreed. Right? They should present this to us to make decisions around free cash. They should, and give us the argument of why we should make the decisions. If they can't go through that process and it just gets kind of pushed in. So I think we should, one, going forward, create a process around this stuff, whether it is 10 votes, but you have 10 votes. And if if it has to do with finances, it has to come before FinCom for discussion. But maybe Marshall, we can have a conversation with them prior to the meeting.
I think it's a good point, KV. We can invite them to a meeting. We are scheduled for a normal meeting next Tuesday. And so we can do the invitation.
Okay.
Having no one show before the meeting or at our meeting or coming to us with something like this and just having it as a citizen's petition, thank you very much. I think we have to, in light of that, and if they do not come or did not come to us, vote in a not recommend and have that discussion in front of the annual town meeting.
And I think that's, that should be stated at the town meeting. The offer was made, the offer was declined. It's their responsibility to convince us
But I can,
on why we should agree.
we can add them to our agenda for next Tuesday. Not a problem.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I see no reason why the select board or board of select persons, whatever we are going to be soon, can't or shouldn't voice its opinion about something before the town.
I agree. I think we can speak to any of the articles.
I just think in the booklet, it gives the opinion of the it lays out what's going on and lets it clearly be stated where this is coming from. Without each of us having, sometimes not everyone gets up from the board to speak to any given article. I think it's better to take the vote at this meeting and say, no, we don't approve of this idea as a board, or some may approve of some of these measures. So I think it's better to take the vote today.
I would be willing. Alicia has a motion on the floor. And there was a second. Do we want to vote on that, moving citizens petitions to the front of the meeting before we get into that?
Sure.
Okay, there's a second. I'll go to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
So this is to move the numbers. Okay, yes, to move them forward, yes.
right, this is Alicia's
Just to
motion.
move, yeah, just to move them.
Okay.
Yep.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
J.R. Colby, no. I think a change like that to town meeting, a little bit of time to think about. Okay, so Damon, Anyone have any opposition to going through the citizens petitions?
I agree with what you said at
Select-
first. I think we should just let the town vote on them, period.
Okay. Damon, do you want to make a motion?
Sure. I move that the Board of Select Persons register their approval or disapproval of the citizens petition.
I second that.
Okay, I'll move to a roll call vote. Oh, you seconded it. So discussion. Okay, let's discuss. Article 20, to see if the town will vote to sell the property located at 31 Plum Island Boulevard. Any discussion on that one?
I think it's a bad idea to sell it right now. It doesn't have any, it doesn't even talk about our right to buy the parking lot. I think it's silly.
Town voted the last town meeting not to fund it, so I'm going with what the town says.
No, you're not correct, Mike. The town voted in the affirmative to purchase the building.
But
What the
then
town,
the
what the
town
town turned
voted
down,
not to fund the building.
no, the town turned down voting, moving $200,000 out of free
Right.
cash to
Right.
complete the renovations. They didn't,
That's
but they
funding the
did-
building, Alicia.
but the town did purchase the building.
Right, and it's maybe, and now they think if we didn't purchase it, I mean, if we did purchase it and we didn't fund it, maybe it's time to sell it. That's what they're saying. And I think
Yeah,
they get the
no,
right-
no, I understand that,
Alicia,
but
Yeah, so
talking-
they get the right to do that, so.
Alicia's talking about the amount of money though, Mike. If it comes in less, maybe they might vote to,
But we haven't seen that yet.
but we.
Yeah, and we also saw less people voting to not put the money in than voted for buying it in the first place. It was
right.
But I don't, I
People-
personally,
greater
I
margin
personally.
by much more
Sorry.
people.
I'll go to Chairman
Let's
Colby.
vote, let's
I
vote.
just
the
want to
article, yep.
mention one thing that's changed since the purchase of the building. We have at least one member, maybe two, of our DPW hold an unrestricted general contractor's license. The Plum Island bathroom renovation can be done in-house now. I think it's something we could do from,
But we're still spending town money,
that is correct,
But
okay?
we're not spending it out of free cash,
right, and it would be at
Okay,
a.
so what are we spending it
What's
at?
done in-house.
the operating budget.
Out of the DPW?
Hmm.
Okay, but like I said, I think that's wrong because it's what I've been told, and like I said, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with this statement, but when they built the Fireman's Hall, they went in the back door, and I'm hearing, quote unquote, we're doing the same thing again. So that's what people are telling me in town.
I'm not sure what that means. We went in the back door, but we got it.
Well, it's like, I personally can't remember when we voted
We
the
did.
money to do what we did. Okay,
Yeah, we got it approved.
I apologize. I don't remember we voted the money to do the Fireman's Hall. But that being said, okay, maybe I'm wrong, but that's, so my point was made.
Okay, any other questions, comments on Article 20 before the Board of Selectmen votes approval or disapproval?
No, I just want to see a permanent solution to the town's issues. I'm tired of slapping a Band-Aid on things, portable potties and everything else. I would like to see a permanent solution. That's just
Okay.
my own feelings.
Let's
I'm
vote,
gonna move,
vote the article.
I'm gonna move to a roll call vote. This is citizens petition Article 20 to see if the town will vote to sell the property located at 31 Plum Island Boulevard. Damon Jesperson,
No.
Michael Doyle,
So this is the move, I'm against the moving it, no.
Alicia Greco,
No,
Jeff Walker,
What,
No.
Can I
JFB, no, I'm against.
Can I
this.
just, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I apologize, I may have been confused. A yes vote meant what and no vote meant what?
It's
No vote.
stating your approval of the article or disapproval of the article.
So
this is
disapproval of the
Article
article,
20.
approval of the article.
Say that again?
Is it an approval of the article or a disapproval of the article?
This is asking for your approval of Article 20?
Right,
Disapproval of Article 20.
So I vote yes. I would like to change my vote to yes. I'm sorry. I misunderstood the way the vote went.
Okay. We'll move to Article 21, Citizens Petition, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $1 million from the Town Hall project account to free cash. Discussion by the Board of Selectmen.
Need more information.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of just willy-nilly shifting money around with no rhyme or reason without the town administrator having any knowledge of it at all. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I just think it's poor fiscal policy.
I would like to see what, if somebody comes to the finance committee next week, I would like to see that answer before I voted.
Right, and this, like I said before, this kind of harkens back to the old way of doing things where it's one-time feel goods, one-time solutions, then the next year comes along and you have big problems. So any other questions or comments on Article 21? I'll move to.
Fiscal planning.
Sorry, Damon, what was that?
I think this is undermine some of the fiscal planning we've done for the town hall renovation. That's all.
Okay, I will move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
No.
Michael Doyle,
I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna vote absentee, because I need more information.
okay, Alicia Greco,
No.
Jeff Walker,
No.
and J.R. Colby, no. We'll move to Article 22 to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $500,000 from free cash to the fiscal year 2021 operating budget.
I'm gonna say the same thing I said at this last one and this one and the next one. I want to see what they say to the finance committee if they come.
Any other questions or comments from the board? I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
No.
Michael Doyle,
Pass.
Alicia Greco,
No.
Jeff Walker,
No.
J.R. Colby, no. Article 23, Citizens Petition, to see if the town will vote to limit the fiscal year 2021 operating budget to a maximum increase of 2.5% fiscal year 2020 total operating budget. Conversation, questions, comments? I mean, I think Tracy summed it up pretty well. Proposition 2.5 basically already has this covered, so just a further lack of understanding of town government finance.
And our budget this year is only 1.6% above last year's budget. So I don't know, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I'd say a 1.6% increase these days is a very nominal sum. It's very conservative.
Chairman,
Yes,
just from the question, and it may be formed, but I don't know if this type of vote would preclude the possibility of an override should it be necessary.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
And that is a question for town council to weigh in on this, certainly before the annual town meeting.
okay. Any other comments from the Board of Selectmen?
I mean, that makes something like this where a override has to go to ballot too. So, you're taking almost the will of the town out of this too, so.
Yeah, I think it
You
really
have
tries to tie
you
the,
have 2 shots at the pie. You go to the ballot or you have town meeting. That makes sense.
well,
Can't put it on the ballot now.
no, next year.
Okay, next year, okay.
Next year.
Essentially being anti-democratic because they're trying to, with a small town meeting coming up, limit the ability of the town to raise funds in the following year. Whether it's even possible to do it, we won't know until we talk to the
I
people.
question the legality in that because I don't think that a town meeting can bound a town financially for the following year. I just don't.
I think if
It's
you
just-
call Boston, you'd probably find this article and maybe 21 not legal.
Yeah, I don't think it's legal, but we can find out.
I'll move to a roll call vote.
Yep.
Damon Jesperson,
No.
Michael Doyle,
On this one, no.
Alicia Greco,
No.
Jeff Walker,
Oh,
J.R. Colby, no. Okay, we've covered the warrant. Thanks to all our FinCom members for joining us tonight. Good meeting. Always interesting on Zoom. And we have a couple more pieces of business to take up on the selectmen's end.
Okay, I would,
Well, go
Mr.
ahead,
Chairman,
Marco.
if you would give us leave, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the FinCom portion of this meeting.
Make that motion.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks. Carry on, gentlemen.
Thanks for
And
joining us.
Joining us.
Thanks, Marshall.
Good
I feel
night.
like it's been forever since I've seen some of you in person. Okay, moving on. Do we still have Mike Riley? Okay, I don't see him right now.
Yes.
There you are, Mike. Are you ready for an update?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. As far as COVID-19 goes, it's been a busy 2 weeks. The governor's four-phase plan for reopening has commenced May 18th, part 1, and on Memorial Day, May 25th, part 2 took effect. Golf courses reopened, marinas with social distancing restrictions, obviously, but some retail stores with restrictions. The governor on May 25th lifted the parking ban at DCR parking lots. So in that vein, after discussion with Deb Rogers and the board and the health department and Tracy, we reached out to the private lot owners who we had previously closed their lots, allowed them to reopen with restrictions. And what we're hoping that does is, especially this week coming up, the next 3 days are going to be really hot, so there will be a good litmus test as to what's going on out there. We're hoping that allowing some of the parking will alleviate a lot of the mad rush and a lot of the cars being towed that we've seen. We still are keeping the restrictions, parking restrictions on Sunset, on Plum Island Turnpike, and at the airport parking lot right now. Our fear right now is when those private lots get filled up, people will start parking everywhere again. We want to avoid that. But it's been pretty orderly, and we haven't had very many complaints. It's been, people by and large, I'd say 95% of the people are very respectful. They understand the social distancing. They understand the need to wear a mask when you can't be socially distant. So it's worked out very well. I really want to give a lot of credit to Deb and Tracy, obviously, meeting with them every day. They're sick of me, and I don't blame them. I'm sick of me too. So, but all the other department heads that I have conference calls with every single day to discuss matters that potentially could come up or you know, we see that could be a problem down the horizon. We are in great shape as far as public safety goes with PPE right now. MEMA has really stepped up and provided the fire department and the police department with a lot of masks and other PPE that we need. We are still, as a town, we are still very low as far as positive COVID cases. We're at, I believe, yesterday we got another report of a positive, and so I believe that puts us right at 10. They're speaking with the fire chief. They've gone on a few calls where they'll be shocked in the next few days if those patients that they transported didn't test positive for COVID. But at this point, no test result has come back, so we can't include our numbers. But as far as Newbury numbers compared to surrounding communities, we are very low, and that's still a testament to our citizens and the precautions they've taken. Let me see, town offices opened back up for the employees to come back. We put a lot of work into prepping the areas at the Library, Council on Aging, and in town offices. The Highway Department did a lot of work, and I can't say enough good things about what they did. The town workers have been great. They've come back. We have protocol in place for sanitation of common areas, for wearing masks in common areas. When you're in your own office, obviously, socially distant, you don't have to wear a mask, but we have protocol for disinfecting all areas every day. We have temperature stations, employees coming in, and this has been going on at the police and fire departments right along, but now it's at town offices. Employees coming in are monitoring their temperature immediately. If they have any type of fever, they're obviously leaving and self-quarantining and advising the town administrator of such. And at least so far, and Tracy, I'm sure, can speak more about the town offices and how that's going, but I think it's been going very well. And hopefully in phase 2 and phase 3 of the governor's reopening plan, we'll be able to start having the public coming back into town offices on a limited basis until finally we're completely reopened. Would be excellent, because I'm sick of COVID-19, as you all are. And really, other than that, unless you have questions or comments.
Chief,
Yes,
I heard today in Salisbury it was not pretty. Okay, what's in place? How are we going to handle if tomorrow it's 90 degrees and the Plum Island's filled? They just said Salisbury was packed today, and I'm not sure what that meant for the town of Salisbury, but I'm not sure what it means for the town of Newbury either if Plum Island's packed tomorrow.
Okay, we have extra people out there. We will enforce all the parking like we have been. People are getting the message that we're not kidding around when we tow cars. Tow companies love us right now. Cars out of there left and right.
You're right, they do.
Get very seriously. I've told my guys, you can't be officer friendly out there when it comes to the parking. You jerk. That's how people are getting the message, unfortunately. But 90% of the people are very good about it. When they come out and they realize that there's no parking or they're going to get towed, the officers will ask them to move. If they can see the person, we'll ask them to move, and they'll move.
Some of the questions I've been asked: can people fish? Can people sunbathe?
Yep.
Okay.
The governor,
I'm not sure what the status was.
Yep, the governor reopened the beaches to from a transitory use, as far as just being able to jog or take a walk, to a normal beach use, as long as you stay socially distant. And if you can't, and gatherings of 10 or more are prohibited still. And if you can't stay socially distant, you must wear a mask. So, you know, people don't want to wear a mask on the beach because you're going to get that mask mark all over your face. So pretty good about being socially distanced.
I don't know. My nose needs protection right now.
The fishermen can still go out and fish, and I've had excellent conversations with Surfland, and the owners there have been fantastic, and we're talking about what they are telling the fishermen that come out. Parking is still an issue. If you don't have a town parking sticker, you can't park on the side of the road. So, you know, unfortunately, we can't allow that, because once it gets out on social media that we're being lax in one area of parking, it's pandemonium, and we want to avoid that. So, and 90-degree days, COVID-19 or no COVID-19, the beach is going to be busy. There's nothing I can do about that.
Right.
Best we can do, and remind people to stay socially distant. The parking lot owners have plans in place, and they tell everybody going in, there's no loitering in the parking lot. You gather your stuff and leave and go. So, and people, today was a nice day, and I was out there a lot, and I had an officer assigned out there, and people were paying attention to that. The parking lots were fairly busy. The private lots were fairly busy. They weren't to capacity, but they were fairly busy, and people were gathering their items and leaving immediately, getting right out of the parking lot. So that was good.
So, Chief, I'd like to thank the emergency management team for all they've done. Really, you guys have done a nice job.
I appreciate that. Thank you. We're trying hard. I mean, obviously, we're going to make mistakes. Don't get me wrong, and there'll be mistakes made. You know, and we learn from our mistakes. But I think right now, with the team we have in place and the communication between all the department heads and everything, before we make any decisions, it's pretty well vetted. So we've been in good shape so far. I think we've been ahead of the curve on a lot of things, and Tracy has done an excellent job with that as far as town offices and, you know, being in connection with her Mass Municipal Agency people has really helped. And seeing what other towns are doing and seeing the calamity that takes place in other towns, really we learn from that. And you know, it's difficult. It's hard to tell people you can't go to a beach. It's hard to tell people you can't open your business. But that's the world we live in right now, and people have been very understanding. So it's been hard, but it's been manageable. So, Tracy, do you have anything you want to add?
No, just what you said. We reopened, or I shouldn't say reopened. We had all our employees start back on the 18th. I think based on the lack of complaints or concerns that were brought to my attention, we had pretty much addressed all of the protection issues that had been identified in the managers meeting leading up to the reopening. We still have everything. Everyone's doing their self-checks. We've got all the materials they need: masks, gloves, sanitizer, and so far so good. Everyone's reported to me that there are no slowdowns. We don't have any backlogs. Everything's currently up to date. The committee's going to begin meeting again throughout the month of June. So I think we're back on track. We're going to be very conscious of the complexity of the health-related issues associated with COVID-19, obviously. So we will be cautious about reopening to the public, likely doing a partial opening by appointment only, and then rolling into a full reopening. But you know, we'll likely do some things differently from now on, things like petitions and things of that nature. But and hopefully, you know, we won't see any kind of resurgence that we'd have to go back to our pre-May 18th operating protocols.
I have a question. Are the bathrooms on the island or no? Have those come?
No bathrooms anywhere open.
Between Deb Rogers, Tracy, and I, and speaking with other boards of health, the porta potties, if we put them out there, either there or at the boat ramp, we're responsible for disinfecting them every time somebody uses it. We don't have the manpower for that. So,
Great.
Yeah.
Steve, would you like that job?
Yeah, no, I don't pay my my assistant harbor masters enough to do that. So if until we're at full go with the state, I don't foresee the porta potties being deployed anytime soon. But when the governor tells us we can, we will.
Okay, thanks for the update, Chief Riley.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you.
Administrators report.
Well, just to add to what we were already talking about, the reminder that real estate, personal property, motor vehicle, excise taxes, and exemption forms are all due on June 1st. All of these transactions can be conducted online for people who would like to take advantage of that. Again, the town meeting, I think everybody knows the new date is the 23rd of June. But what I'm not hearing a lot of talk about is the new location. So reminder to everyone that it will be at Triton Regional High School Auditorium. The election's moving on the 16th. The town clerk has reported that they've received requests for over 1,400 ballots to date. So obviously people are engaged in this election. Gretchen Gerard has accepted the Planning Inspectional Services Conservation Admin Assistant position and started work last week. So if you have an opportunity, please join me in welcoming her to the town of Newberry, her new position. The streetlight conversion project is complete. Hopefully we're going to realize some savings in fiscal 2021. And the conservation agent search status, the interviews are complete. Thank you, Chairman Colby and Selectman Walker, for participating in that. We are negotiating and hope to have a new agent on board by the beginning of June. So I'll keep you posted on that.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. Under old business, we have a vote to approve the collective bargaining agreement between the town of Newbury and Teamsters Local Union 170 from July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2023.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, I'll move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson?
I think he got kicked out.
I'll
Oh,
come
no,
back.
there he is.
Did you hear that? I didn't see when you disappeared, Damon. Under old business, we're on a vote to approve the collective bargaining agreement between the town of Newbury and the Teamsters Local Union.
You don't have audio, Damon. Your audio's not there.
Oh, now he's muted. There we go.
I think he's having an issue with his audio. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Can you vote by thumbs up or thumbs down?
All right, all right, so you can hear us then. Okay, so you're a yes. The PW contract.
I think you're there now, Damon.
We're all turning into radio engineers, slowly but surely.
Can barely hear you guys now. Hold on.
Everyone's
We
with
can
us.
hear you.
Oh,
All righty. Well,
There he is.
he's ran out of batteries.
Okay, so we just moved to old business, the vote to approve the collective bargaining agreement between the town of Newbury and Teamsters Local Union 170 from July 1st, 2020, June 30th, 2023. I will move to a roll call vote. Damon Jesperson, who we might have just lost again.
No, I'm here.
Oh, I can hear you. Yep. Okay, so Damon Jesperson. Roll.
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. All right, we have correspondence, May 14th, 2020, official letter of certification from Triton Regional School District for the 2019-2020 apportionment of costs in fiscal year 20 adjusted budget summary. Triton's operational costs are $32,583,273. Their debt service is $438,586. Newbury's fiscal year 2020 assessment for operating costs is $9,386,779. Newbury's fiscal year 2020 assessment for capital costs is $126,369. We also received a letter from National Grid regarding their normal vegetation management plan, cleaning under the power lines and things. And we also received an email 4/27/2020 from Steve Mangin regarding his opposition to the Plum Island bathrooms. Does anyone have any meeting updates?
I went to a veterans meeting last week where we just finished up the fiscal budget for the year. And I also want to thank Tracy for helping me get the town hall lit for Memorial Day. Thank you, Tracy. And the only other thing, I sat in on the Triton school committee, and it was a sad meeting because the unknown. It's like the total unknown. Are they going back to school? What are the revenues going to be? So it was a tough meeting. Other than that, thank you.
Any other meeting updates?
There's the Meet the Candidates Forum tomorrow evening via Zoom. So anyone who's interested in meeting the candidates for Selectmen, Town Moderator, and one other position.
Tree warden.
Tree Warden, sorry. Should tune in tomorrow night.
Okay. We have meeting minutes. I would entertain a motion.
Motion made
Second.
to accept.
Can I go back to a second for meeting updates? Don't we have
Sure.
a office hours, a board of selectmen office hours as well on Saturday?
Yes.
Who was first? Damon?
Yep.
So I just want to let the
9 a.m.
public know that there is that. How would they dial in for that coffee hour? Is it posted on the website?
On the website.
Okay.
And if Jen can just maybe advertise it before the meeting. In the paper.
We always hope so.
Thank you.
All right, review of meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve meeting minutes?
Motion made.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Oh, sorry.
Aye.
Roll vote. I gotta catch myself. Roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Cody, yes. We have warrants to sign. I
move that we authorize the chairman to execute the warrants on our behalf.
I second that.
Any discussion? Roll call vote. Damon Jesperson,
Yes.
Michael Doyle,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. There was no executive session tonight. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, have a good night, everyone.
Night, folks.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.